Hello and welcome to the United Devils YouTube channel. Some match reaction today from the Manchester United-Chelsea game in the FA Cup semi-final. United went into this one 19 games unbeaten, but an absolute terrible performance today has seen them now end that run and also knocked out of the FA Cup at the semi-final stage. United decided to use this game to rest certain players like Mason Greenwood and Anthony Martial. Probably the biggest giveaway so far that Solskjaer sees a place in the top four much more important than silverware this season, especially domestic silverware. Aside from the changes to personnel, United also decided to change their formation to a 5 at the back with three central defenders including Harry Maguire, Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof. Wing-backs were Brandon Williams and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. And it's fair to say, with the exception of Bailly, who had to go off just before half-time because of his injury, all of those defenders have done themselves no favours, and it was one of the poorest defensive efforts we've seen from United in some time. Aside from all the errors and all the mistakes that United made today, they'll also be worried about the energy that was in the team. This looked like one game too far for United, and with still 2 games remaining in the season, which are massive games in order to ensure us a top 4 place. Work now has to be done on getting this team fresh again and ready to play a West Ham team. Regardless of tiredness and change of personnel and change of formation, the performance at times today was unforgivable. Giving the ball away, giving no care or attention given on the ball, and players not doing their jobs properly, as all compounded in the final result today, which was 3-1 to Chelsea. The most alarming thing for me about what we've seen from Manchester United today is the drop-off from their strong first 11 to the rest of the squad members in the team. The drop-off is alarming and not acceptable, and certainly not going to be good enough for us to mount any challenge next season for a league or any other silverware. United also now have a serious decision to make about their goalkeeper moving forward. Dean Henderson has impressed all season at Sheffield United, and De Gea has yet again failed to impress on a number of occasions for United, with today making 2 mistakes. The crucial mistake for the second goal that basically killed the rest of the team. It was visible how all the confidence that the team had left in them drained after that goal, just after this half-time break. The game today also just highlighted what a massive job United have got on their hands now in terms of summer recruitment. Work has got to be done on signings, and people have got to be brought into the club who are capable of putting in performances when other players need a rest. United's first half performance, sluggish, slow, unacceptable, sort of typified the whole performance for the game, but they might have expected to get to half-time level and would have been able to count themselves very lucky. But a goal on the stroke of half-time from Chelsea with a ball across from Azpilicueta that was met by clever movement from Giroud was sort of it towards David De Gea, and he was unable to keep it out with a hand down by his side. Solskjaer sent his team out early for the second half and would have expected a response, and maybe would have got a response if it hadn't have been for a minute into the second half. Mason Mount picking the ball up about 25 yards from goal and just hitting a weak, low effort towards goal that somehow David De Gea failed to get his hand behind and keep out the goal. By this point, with the scoreline and the nature of the way that the second goal went in, United were done. The race was run and this game was pretty much over. And it was confirmed that it was over in the final stages when a simple ball comes across the box from the Chelsea fullback, and Maguire lazily flicks out a leg and pokes it past his own goalkeeper. A shot that we maybe could have expected David De Gea to save 3 years ago, but certainly not on his current form. United were able to find a consolation when they had a rare foray into the Chelsea box with about 5 minutes to go. Martial, using his skill and pace, and was brought down by Callum Hudson-Odoi for yet another penalty for United, their 19th for the season. It was Bruno Fernandes who stood up and took the penalty and put it away nicely, but that was all United could muster and just finished the last 10 minutes of the game with a whimper. Player ratings for the game. David De Gea, I'm giving a 4. One of his worst performances, even of current time, is not transmitting any confidence at the moment to anyone. You feel like any shot on target could be put past him, and that was certainly the case today. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, yet another tired performance from him, but Solskjaer's worry is that he's got nobody to come in behind him, so therefore he'll have to continue to play. But the tiredness is just compounding his poor performances, and he's not good enough. He today gets a 4.5. Victor Lindelof just looked like a duck out of water today. It did not settle, did not suit playing in a back three, and was just so careless on the ball like all of the other United defenders. He gets a 4 too. Harry Maguire, just a culmination of a few poor performances from him really, and they're starting to rack up a little bit now, which is becoming concerning. Did suffer concussion in the first half with his collision with Bailly, and you do wonder whether that affected the rest of his performance, but no excuse really for that. Lots of poor passes from him, didn't really get near the players he was marking, and scored a very sort of soft own goal at the end to give Chelsea a 3-0 lead. He gets a 3.5 today. Brandon Williams, don't want to be too harsh on the kid, he's not had a lot of game time since we come back from lockdown, and he's still young and he's still learning, but this has certainly not been one of his best performances. Looked on his heels when he was looking to receive the ball, wasn't ready, and every pass that came to him looked like it was a surprise. He gets a 4. Nemanja Matic, nowhere near as convincing as he has been in recent performances, and his performance sort of reflected the team. Very cumbersome on the ball, sloppy, taking his time, didn't look confident when receiving the ball in tight areas. Tried to get United going at times with his passing, but again, like everyone else, was very careless and didn't take due care and attention. I give him a 4.5. Next up was Fred. Fred was nowhere near it today, and he was the replacement for Pogba, and he cannot be a replacement for Pogba again. The worry with Fred is when he doesn't play a number of games, he takes too long to get back into the rhythm of playing and the way that United want to play. Bruno Fernandes today was okay, probably United's best player on the field, obviously scored the penalty, but it's very difficult for him to have an influence on a team who doesn't have the energy and doesn't have the foresight and willingness to work like he did today. So I feel for him a little bit, but also at times even he was careless with his passing, especially when passing forward. Today he gets a 6. Dan James today came in for Mason Greenwood, and with United wanting to look to play on the counter-attack with the wing-backs, you could understand why Dan James was selected today. But once again, very, very poor. He didn't get that counter-attacking opportunities, and once he plays against a low-block defence, he's not half the player that he is when we can play on the counter-attack. His touch is off, he's very careless on the ball, and at the moment, he's nowhere near that United front three. He gets a 4.5. Marcus Rashford sort of played as a split striker, and it looked like a position that he'd never played it today. He didn't pick up the ball in any effective areas. He didn't carry the ball well. His touch was poor, and unfortunately, he was off it today and not able to influence anything going forward for Manchester United. Eric Bailly was 11th player in the team today, but had to go off early due to an injury to what looked like his neck, but also he'd suffered 2 concussions in quick succession. Bailly, though, like all the other United defenders, failed to impress while he was on the field. He looked very sort of lazy on the ball and looked like he lacked any confidence to pass forward, and like the rest of United's defenders, he scores a 4. United made 4 substitutions today. Ighalo, Fosu-Mensah, Paul Pogba and Mason Greenwood all come on the pitch, but in truth all 4 substitutes had very little impact on the game, and as an all-round group of substitutions they score no more than a 4.5. That's all from the match reaction today, and that's your player ratings. For more content from the United Devils, please like and subscribe to get more content about your club.